Cruise holidays are meant to be the ultimate escape, sunny skies, smooth sailing, and a chance to unwind without a care in the world. But for some unlucky passengers, the cruise never even gets started. In 2025, cruise lines are enforcing stricter rules than ever, and it's not uncommon to see people turned away at the port, stunned and frustrated. So why does it happen? Let's explore the 11 biggest reasons passengers are denied boarding and how you can make sure it doesn't happen to you. Let's begin with the most common issue: invalid or insufficient travel documents. It might sound like a rookie mistake, but it still happens regularly. Most cruise lines require that your passport be valid for at least 6 months beyond the end of your cruise, while US citizens taking certain round-trip sailings from domestic ports may be allowed to travel with just a birth certificate and a government-issued photo ID. Relying on that can be a gamble, especially if your ship unexpectedly reroutes to a foreign port. Always double-check your cruise line's requirements and make sure your documents are in order well ahead of time. Tied closely to that is missing or incorrect visas. This is a surprisingly common issue for international cruises. Some itineraries include ports that require specific visas even if you're not planning to disembark. For instance, an Alaskan cruise that briefly stops in Canada will still require a Canadian visa for non-US or non-Canadian travelers. Likewise, cruises to Asia, Australia, or certain South American countries may come with strict visa requirements. If your name isn't on the approved list, you won't be getting on the ship. Simple as that. Next up, arriving too late at the port. Cruise ships don't wait. There's a final boarding time, usually at least an hour before the scheduled departure, and if you arrive after that cutoff, you're out of luck. It doesn't matter if your flight was delayed, if traffic was horrendous, or even if your taxi got lost. To play it safe, many experienced cruisers now arrive the day before, especially if they're flying in. Missing the ship because you caught it too close can cost you the entire cruise fare and potentially ruin your holiday plans. Another major reason passengers are turned away is not having the required travel insurance. Some cruise lines and destinations now mandate proof of comprehensive coverage, especially for UK travellers. Cunard, for example, requires British passengers to have at least £2 million in emergency medical and repatriation coverage. If you show up without that proof, or with the wrong type of policy, don't be surprised if you're denied boarding on the spot. The days of skipping travel insurance and hoping for the best are long gone. Now, let's talk about pregnancy restrictions. Cruise lines typically don't allow guests who will be 24 weeks pregnant or more at any point during the voyage. And yes, they check. Expecting mothers are usually asked to present a doctor's letter confirming their due date and their fitness to travel. If that paperwork is missing, or if the dates don't line up, you'll be asked to stay ashore. It may feel harsh, but it's a safety issue, and cruise lines take it seriously. Next is an easily overlooked problem: bringing prohibited items in your luggage. Cruise lines publish detailed lists of banned items, everything from weapons and illegal substances to seemingly innocent objects like irons, candles, and even surge protector power strips. In some cases, the item will simply be confiscated, but if it's something more serious or raises a security red flag, you could find yourself turned away altogether. Always check your cruise line's policies before you pack. Then there's disruptive or intoxicated behavior at check-in. If you show up drunk, aggressive, or acting inappropriately, cruise staff have the authority to deny you boarding. It doesn't matter how much you paid for your cabin or how far you've travelled. Bad behaviour will get you nowhere fast. These policies are in place to protect fellow guests and the crew, and they're enforced more strictly than ever. Another important factor is health-related concerns. In a post-pandemic world, cruise lines have ramped up their health screening protocols. If you're coughing excessively, vomiting, or showing other signs of illness, you may be pulled aside for medical evaluation, and if there's even a small chance you're contagious, you won't be allowed to board. Some lines also require health declarations or digital check-ins where you confirm you're symptom-free. Being dishonest on those forms is not only unethical, it can also backfire if you're caught. While relatively rare, overbooking does happen. Just like airlines, some cruise lines sell more cabins than they actually have, expecting a few cancellations. But if everyone shows up, someone gets bumped. In most cases, it's passengers without assigned cabins or those who booked late. While you'll likely be offered compensation or a future cruise credit, it's still a gut-wrenching experience to be told your holiday is over before it began. Another often overlooked issue is refusing mandatory security procedures. Cruise embarkation involves airport-style screening, scanners, ID checks, security photos, and luggage inspection. If a guest refuses to cooperate or becomes argumentative with staff, they risk being denied boarding. Security is a top priority for cruise lines, and full compliance is non-negotiable. And finally, here's a surprising one that's catching more passengers out in 2025. Unpaid balances or missing pre-cruise documents. Some guests arrive at the port thinking everything is sorted, only to find out they never completed their online check-in, signed the mandatory health declarations, or settled small charges on their account. If your cruise line can't verify your readiness or payment status, they may not let you board until it's resolved. In some cases, it can be too late to fix on the day. It's a frustratingly preventable mistake, but one that's becoming more common. So there you have it. The 11 biggest reasons passengers are denied boarding in 2025. Each one is completely avoidable with a little preparation and awareness. Make sure your documents are correct, your bags are compliant, and your health and behavior are up to standard, and you'll be sailing off without a hitch. But even if you make it on board, things don't always go according to plan. If you thought getting turned away at the dock was a nightmare, wait until you hear what happened during the disastrous maiden voyage of the Norwegian Aqua this week. Click the screen now to watch our full breakdown of what went wrong with the Norwegian Aqua and why so many passengers swore they'd never cruise with Norwegian again.